Well, now, pull up a chair, son. Let me tell you something. I always say every good story starts on a porch, the kind with a squeaky swing and a dog laying at your feet. Out here, time slows down just enough to catch up with your own thoughts. And I've had a few thoughts over the years, some clear as day, others I had to dig out from the back of my memory like an old toolbox in the shed. Life's got a funny way of teaching you things. Not all at once, mind you, but bit by bit, like raindrops filling a barrel. So today I figured I'd share a few of those lessons I picked up along the way. First thing, time ain't waiting, never has, never will. You think you got all the hours in the world till one day you blink and your knees hurt getting out of bed and your kids got kids of their own. So if there's something you have been meaning to do, call an old friend, plant that tomato garden, write a letter to someone you wronged. Don't wait. Do it now. That's something I learned the long way. Ah, young love. Feels like spring rain on a tin roof, loud, sudden, and unforgettable. I remember her name, Clara. She had this laugh that could break silence wide open. We were 16, thought we knew everything. We didn't, of course. But at that age, feelings don't ask for permission. They just show up and sit in your chest like a stubborn mule. We wrote letters even though we lived 3 blocks apart. That's how folks did it back then. No phones, just ink and heart. We didn't last, Claire and I. Life took us in different directions. But I'll tell you this, your first love teaches you how deep you can feel, how much your heart can hold. And it reminds you years later that not every good thing is meant to stay, but it sure leaves a mark. I worked 83 years in the same factory, made parts for trucks. Nothing glamorous, but it fed my family and kept the lights on. Nowadays, I hear folks talk about finding their passion. That's fine and dandy, but sometimes your purpose ain't in the thing you do, it's in how you do it. I showed up every day, gave it my best, and took pride in being dependable. That meant something, still does. Work ain't always about fulfillment. Sometimes it's just about doing right by the people who count on you. And let me tell you, there's honor in that. It ain't the big milestones I remember most, not the awards or the promotions. Nah, it's the little things. The way my wife hummed while she made coffee. My daughter holding my pinky finger when she was a toddler. The smell of Sunday pancakes. You live long enough and you realize it's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years. And most of that life, it's made of small, quiet moments. Don't miss them. Old age taught me you don't need a crowd of friends, just a few real ones. We don't meet often, but when we do, old stories come alive again. We laugh at the silly things, and sometimes we sit in silence, thinking about the friends who didn't make it this far. She didn't need to say, "I love you" every day. It was in her eyes when I brought her tea in bed, and how she always saved me the last bite of pie. That was love, simple, deep, and real. One winter, I got real sick, thought it might be the end, but there she was, sitting by my bed, holding my hand through the night. That's when I realized, love is more powerful than medicine. I once hurt a close friend. Took me 10 years to pick up the phone. When I did, he said, "I've been waiting." Forgiveness. It's a gift you give others and yourself. One night, I drove to my mother's hometown just to feel her again. I sat on a park bench, listening to crickets, and felt her presence in the wind, in memory. Getting older gives you the right to slow down, to listen to birds, watch sunsets, and not rush. Quietness becomes its own kind of music. I'm not afraid of dying. I just regret things I didn't say. So now I say them every chance I get. A loving word is never wasted. I used to fix watches. It wasn't a flashy job, but it mattered. Helping people keep time, it made me feel like I was preserving moments. I raised my kids, but later they raised me. They taught me patience, how to love unconditionally, and how to really listen. Those noisy tables filled with food and laughter, they were the heartbeat of our home. It wasn't about the dishes, it was about the stories. We took one last road trip together, just us in the open road. She sang with the windows down. That memory still carries me. There's a letter I wrote but never mailed. It was to my father. Maybe one day I'll read it aloud to the wind. I never cried before 60. Then one night, I did, and it healed something I didn't know was broken. E saved my life in the mud. Later, he taught me that surviving isn't enough. You gotta live fully too. The laughter of my grandkids is like a time machine. Makes me young again, even if just for a minute. Didn't achieve all my dreams, but I found peace in knowing I tried. That's enough. I saw a therapist once. It took courage, but it helped. Talking ain't weakness, it's strength. That tree in my yard outlived us all. It bent in storms, never broke. I try to live like that. Being alone isn't bad. It's being lonely that's tough. I learned to enjoy my own company. Before she passed, she gave me a note that simply said, "Keep living." So I do. Some nights, I miss things I can't name. It's just a feeling, soft and heavy. Even with all the bad, I still believe in good people. I've met too many not to. I promised my brother I'd visit his favorite lake every year. I missed a few. I still carry that promise. Life moves fast, but it's richer when you slow down. Smell rain, taste bread, feel the moment. So here I am, still talking, still remembering. And maybe one day you'll sit on your porch and tell your stories too. I hope so. Now pass the tea, will you?